What's up? So we talk 1, 2, 3. Yesterday, there's some teams that clinched in the major leagues, clinching their division, and the Milwaukee Brewers going into this season were predicted to be right up there in the division. Them and the Cincinnati Reds. Obviously, a very disappointing year for Cincinnati Reds, considering the fact that they had pretty much the same team as last year, except a few young players have grown up a bit. Joey Votto's had a little bit down year. Jay Bruce has had a great year, but not good enough for the Reds, and they really just haven't been able to really put up a big hot streak and get somewhere in the standings. But Cardinals were predicted to get fourth going into this year. I saw a lot of places where the division standings supposedly were going to be the Reds, the Brewers, the Cubs, and then the Cardinals, or the Brewers, Reds, Cubs, Cardinals. And I mean, you got to be kidding me. I mean, the Cardinals need a little more credit than that, not just because I'm a Cardinal fan. Just because you lose Adam Wainwright does not mean that they're totally out. They tried to improve their team. They ended up really improving their team with Lance Berkman. You got to remember, if you're following the Cardinals last year, at right field they had John Jay. Not a bad. He's not bad at all. He's their starting center fielder now. But he had no power numbers at that point. And then you add a guy like Lance Berkman. Even if he only hit 15 home runs, it's better than what they had the year before. So you're improving in right field. Supposedly, we were trying to improve at shortstop. If we would have gotten J.J. Hardy, we'd have definitely improved. And, we probably in the playoffs, because Ryan Tara's cost us 2 games on the tracking or whatever, maybe even more. Negative something games he's cost us defensively and offensively. And he's been a little bit better of late. Rafael Furcal, he cost us at least a game, but really he's really been a really important addition, actually. So can't complain too much about there, but the Cardinals did deserve more credit. But the Milwaukee Brewers winning this division, I can't remember if they won in 08. I know they went to the playoffs in 08. I can't remember if they got the wild card or not. At CC Sabathia. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, the Brewers having a lot of money tied up and probably not going to be able to afford a guy like Prince Fielder. But it's interesting, if they are able to afford Prince Fielder, would they pick trying to get a pitcher like CC Sabathia or Prince Fielder? Something to think about. If there's a chance to get Prince Fielder, I definitely think they'll go after it, though. I don't know where this team would be without Prince Fielder. Obviously, there's some guys in their minor league systems that could step up. Could see a guy like Matt Gamble coming up. But really, the big thing here is that they're clinching this division big. I think they're not going to clinch it next year. I don't think, at least. I don't think they're going to get to the playoffs next year. They might get wild card if they're lucky, but I don't think they'll win the Central. I do think it's the Cardinals' year to win next year. This year, we might get lucky getting the wild card as a Cardinal fan. But the Brewers, everything has gone right for them. Nigel Morgan came out of nowhere and has been fantastic. Corey Hart's had another solid year. You have Ricky Weeks has had a breakout year, even though he's been on my radar for many years, ever since, I believe it was 2008, actually, or 2009, where he suffered that injury, early in the season, where he had, 9 home runs, in the first few weeks, and I was like, this guy is really good, and, he kind of disappeared, but he's come back in a big way. Prince Fielder and Ryan Braun, you can't really beat those two, Albert Pujols and Matt Holliday is another good 3-4 punch, but Matt Holliday's had an off year this year. I'm sorry if I'm talking too much about the Cardinals. It tends to happen. But anyway, so the Brewers, everything has gone right for them this year. Betancourt even started to get hot at one point. So, and John LaCroix has had a breakout year. Sean Markham has had a very solid year. One of the best, I would say, not like an ace, but if you're looking for a pitcher who's going to supply you with solid outings every time he goes out there, I'm picking Sean Markham. He's a guy who's been just absolutely, his numbers are just solid. They're not like ace material. They're not, under 2. They're not Cy Young stuff, but they're just so solid. Very solid. I don't know how you can get even more solid than that, really. Very solid. So, gotta love a guy like that. Can get you 15, 16 wins. Great addition there. Having to go with Brett Lowry, though, it kind of sucks because, I can see him being an all-star third baseman very soon, and he's been, pretty good with Toronto so far. Again, he's their top prospect now. So they deal a pitcher in Sean Markham, and they have to give up a really big top prospect there. But, they had Casey McGee, who's actually had an off year this year. So, speculation there. In my opinion, the only thing I feel good about as a Cardinal fan is that the Brewers are not going to be able to be this good every year because they don't have the money as big market teams like Boston. I mean, they probably won't be getting Prince Fielder all season. Probably won't be able to resign him. I don't think any, executives think that they will resign him, and he doesn't even think that they'll resign him. So, if they had the money to resign Prince Fielder, they'd probably also have the money to go after CC Sabathia, and they don't have the money. Of course, that's also if he opts out of his contract, with a lot of people think he will. Not exactly sure what to think on that. I think it'd be very interesting if he does, because every team that has the money, or just every team in general, will excite the fans that, wow, a CC Sabathia pitcher is on the market. This might be interesting. So, for the Brewers, exciting for them. Again, everything has gone right for them. John Axford getting perfect in saves. You bring in Francisco Rodriguez. He got the win yesterday, clinched the division. He's done a great job, but he has shown publicly that he's disappointed that he hasn't been able to close any of the games, get his saves. Considering the fact that they've had like 20 or so saves and he hasn't got any chances. And I guess he was told he'll get some chance here and there. But John Axford, he's like perfect in saves, so you can't really, bother with that. But for Francisco Rodriguez, another guy who's going to be interesting free agent. This is a year for free agent closers. Every year there's something. Next year is free agent starting pitchers. This year is free agent closers. With Jose Reyes on the market, and with Prince Fielder and Albert Pujols on the market, I think it might be the year for infielders too. I mean, and then you got guys like Aramis Ramirez and guys like that. So the infield is pretty strong. Outfield, I'm trying to think of guys that are free agents. Lance Berkman, he's re-signed. There's not too many guys that are really big names for the outfield. In a few years, though, there will be. Andre Ethier, free agent after 2012 season. There's many. There's some exciting free agents that come. It'll be interesting what happens with Brandon Phillips' situation. But, the thing I kind of find funny is that predicting the season, it was going to be like the Brewers, the Reds, the Cubs, Cardinals, right around there. Cardinals were totally drastically out, supposedly, because they don't have Wainwright. And they come back, and they might win this wild card. So I'm very excited about that. But I'm also excited for Brewers fans. They absolutely went all in. Their window of winning is this year and next year and maybe the year after, but it's not going to last forever. The fact that they had to give up like Lorenzo Cain, Alcides Escobar, Brett Lowry, some other guys that are definitely going to be part of a bright future to get the guys to win now. Otherwise, I'm not sure how good of a team they would have if they don't have Zach Greinke and Sean Martin. Who knows? But obviously, a part of it is coming to the fact that Prince Fielder might not be a Brewer after this year. So you've got to use it while you have it. So the Brewers going in all this year, and it's definitely worked out so far. They clinched the division. I'm not sure if they won the division in 2008. If not, I don't think they've clinched the division in a long time. So congratulations to the Brewers and the Brewers fans. Also, the Diamondbacks are in. I'm not going to make playoff predictions until I know the matchups, but I can see the Brewers going to the NLCS very easily. They have great offense, great pitching, great year for them. All right, thanks for watching Zombie Talk 1, 2, 3.